The morning of Friday, the 1st of November, 2024, may have appeared to most of the Carter family to have been a usual, regular morning. It was a school day in the sunny state of Florida where the Jamaican family of 6 reside. Given the Caribbean heritage of the family, the day's early activities would have consisted of face washing, bathing, and teeth brushing, morning rituals that are practically seen as sacred within Jamaican culture. The preparation of breakfasts, organization of clothes if not done the night before, getting the children prepared for their respective classes, and then dropping them off to school. Unlike the average family, the Carter parents may have had a higher level of multitasking to do because, in addition to having a young 4-child family, both the mother and father are notable vloggers and entrepreneurs. Welcome TFM family, you are tuned into the feminine mind. My name is Linnea and you are now watching the Cushane CMR Carter story. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already and enjoy the video. Cushane and Crissy Carter are a married couple who have 4 daughters aged 15 and under who are all stars alongside their parents in the online vlog The Carter Family. With these additional responsibilities, one can just imagine how much of a bustle each school morning was likely to be. 2 entrepreneurial public figure parents, whose 4 children are also public figures, means there is sure to be a lot happening on most days, much less on a busy school morning towards the end of the school week. As most parents know, school usually grants a parent peace of mind in regards to their child's daily education and personal safety. It grants the parent the freedom to focus on their respective personal or work obligations. However, as casual as things may have appeared to be on the surface, time would spookily reveal the morning of Friday, November 1st, 2024, the morning after Halloween, was anything but normal. As the children went through their school day, it would become worryingly clear for several parties that on this seemingly normal morning, for at least 2 members of the Carter family, something may have gone horribly and inexplicably wrong. Even though most of the family appeared to be oblivious and unaware of the dangers around, this blissful ignorance would be short-lived. By the very next day, Saturday, November 2nd, 2024, reports started to emerge online that the Jamaican vlogger and dancehall artist, father and husband, Cushane CMR Carter, aka CMR, had been arrested in Florida and was being detained at the Apopka police station in Orange County. The official police report was found online and it showed that CMR had not only been arrested but had been charged with lewd and lascivious against a minor. The police report showed the age of the minor in question was between 12 to 15 years old, and this information started a widespread social media fire amid speculations about the identity of the alleged minor. These speculations spread from Google to TikTok, X to Instagram, YouTube to Snapchat, and all nooks and crannies of social media. The public wanted to know whether this report was in relation to one of CMR's own daughters or if the offense had occurred with a minor outside of his family. At this point, in the comments of various posts and live streams about the arrest, the Jamaican and Caribbean diaspora, fans and foes of the Carter family shared their views. People who knew the brand and family started detailing that CMR's eldest daughter was in fact not his biological child, and her age matched the age of the minor listed in the report. However, this information could not be confirmed and the online sleuthing began. The public opinion of CMR was immediately damaged as his charges of lewd and lascivious molestation were seen as a pedophilic crime and was not something the audience and wider public could easily dismiss, as not only was it in stark contrast to the family-friendly content the Carter family are known to provide, it is clear that Sexual offences against children are commonplace in several generations of Jamaican and Caribbean society, and clearly one of the least highlighted and poorly defended ills within Jamaican society, both in Jamaica and abroad. The comment sections on various social media sites displayed the sexual assault experiences of hundreds of Jamaican and Caribbean men and women who spoke about their own traumatic experiences from childhood. This speaks to social media being used as a platform to dig into the more hidden, toxic, and damaging aspects of the lives of innocent and vulnerable children, and the volume of this sharing was unprecedented. The first unconfirmed explanation for CMR's arrest came from an unidentified woman who appeared in a TikTok live conversation and alleged that CMR was having an extramarital affair with her. She claimed CMR had been arrested because she found pictures of her 12-year-old daughter on his phone on the very same day that he broke off their affair. The second version of events to be added to possible reasons for CMR's arrest and charges came from dancehall reggae musician Mr. Vegas. Mr. Vegas informed the public via video that CMR directly told him the charges had been brought about because of the child of a Trinidadian woman who slept over at the family home one night. CMR allegedly told Mr. Vegas that the child's mother made an accusation about his behaviour as she witnessed him touching the child's shoulder in an attempt to wake her in the morning. We will come back to this later, as it creates a clearer picture of the intentional misleading of the public on the part of CMR. It appeared he did not want the facts to be in the public eye, and unfortunately for him, the surfacing of CMR's official bail hearing video took this out of his control. CMR's bail hearing in Orange County was filmed and published online. It cleared up the confusion and speculations about what had occurred. It became painfully obvious that the reports made against CMR were not made by the daughter of a woman he was having an affair with, nor did they come from a Trinidadian woman whose child had slept over. Instead, the court documentation and communications within the hearing clarify the allegations that led to CMR being arrested and charged with lewd and lascivious molestation of a minor. The complaints came directly from his own family. The biggest public fear was confirmed to be true. It was Crissy Carter's eldest daughter, CMR's stepdaughter, who had alleged to be on the receiving end of pedophilic interactions and apparent grooming by CMR over an alleged 11-month period. As mentioned earlier, this minor is one of the 6 stars on the Carter family show, and news of her alleged molestation by CMR has led to public rage, disgust, and distrust. Additionally, it has highlighted the ills of rape culture because many men and women have not only defended CMR blindly, theories that imply the daughter and Crissy intentionally schemed to get CMR in trouble are also circling. According to the police report from the Apopka police station, on the morning of Friday, November 1st, 2024, something allegedly happened to the Carter's eldest daughter that she wasn't able to overlook. She was distressed by what she experienced, and upon being dropped to school with her younger siblings by Cushane Carter, she went to speak with a guidance counselor within the school. The 13-year-old girl made shocking allegations against CMR in what appeared to be an attempt to protect herself from CMR's present behavior and future possible fully penetrative assault of her. The police report from Orange County was accessed and shared online. According to this report, written by Officer Kashita of the Apopka Police Department, and I quote and paraphrase, as some words have been redacted, the following occurred in regards to Cushane Demaya Carter. The 2nd of November 2024. I, Officer Kashita, with the Apopka Police Department, was notified of this case by Detective Shah. I responded to redacted in Apopka. Upon arrival, I assisted Detective Shah interviewing Cushane Carter. I read Cushane his Miranda warnings off of my department-issued Miranda card prior to any questioning, to which he stated he understood and was willing to answer questions. Detective Shah's probable cause is as follows. On November 1st, 2024, at 13:17 hours, this case was referred over to the Apopka Police Department from Detective Tally at the Ocoee Police Department. This incident involves a child making a disclosure about sexual molestation, redacted, that occurred this morning, redacted. At 14:19 hours, I went to the school and made contact with the 13-year-old victim. The child agreed to speak with me about the incident from this morning. I asked her what happened and she disclosed that redacted had come into her bedroom this morning and touched her shoulders and chest area over her clothing. She stated he then picked her up and placed her on the floor of her bedroom at the foot of her bed. The child said he then pulled down her pants to her and then stopped and pulled them back up. She was wearing underwear at the time. The child stated this has happened twice before, once approximately 6 months ago and then last year around the winter time. On those occasions, he only touched her over her area with his hands. The child appeared to be forthcoming but did not want redacted to get into trouble because she did not want redacted to think he is a bad person. She ultimately wanted an adult to speak to him and tell him not to do this anymore. It should be noted that redacted was sleeping on the bed beside her. The child was wearing a spaghetti strap tank top and long pajama pants. It should be noted that there are a total of 4 female children in the household, with the victim being the oldest. There is a baby monitor camera in the bedroom, but it only shows live video. It does not save the recordings. This is accessible via an application on redacted phone. She believes redacted also has access as well. This information was provided by redacted, agreed to the forensic interview, and I transported the child to the center. A forensic interview was completed with the child protection team at the Howard Phillips Center for Children. I attempted to make contact with the suspect at his residence around 2100 hours with negative contact. DCF placed the children under a safety plan where they remained with a family friend and would not be allowed to return to the home until a later time. At 0820 hours on the 2nd of November 2024, I, along with Officer Calixto and Officer Kashita, made contact with the suspect at his residence. I presented the information about the allegations to him. He indicated that there are cameras in the bedroom. It would show he never went to the room. The explanation he provided was that yesterday morning he went into the room to wake up the victim and she was on the floor with herself. The suspect stated when he saw that, he yelled at her to get back into bed. He said he then went to get the other kids ready for school. He indicated this was not the first time that this had happened. He advised he is a redacted based on his social media account. He believes the victim is a good kid and does not cause issues. He later indicated she was a liar and has stated in the past to a family friend that he has concerns that she would make up lies against him. He used the example that she once told the police that she did not see redacted hit him, but said she saw him hit redacted and he was arrested for domestic. Based off of the investigation, Cushane Carter was placed under arrest. He was placed in my department-issued handcuffs, which were double-locked and checked for proper fit. Cushane was transported to Apopka Police Department and then to Orange County BRC without incident. My department-issued body-worn camera was on and active for this entire event. This case is to be cleared by arrest. Statements made by defendant prior to, during, and after arrest as related to each charge. As the reports detail, the stepdaughter of CMR, who is a 13-year-old minor, had alleged that he had touched her inappropriately in the morning and had done this 2 times prior, once 6 months earlier, and then roughly around December of 2023. The behavior described is not only lewd and lascivious child molestation due to the 3 separate times it allegedly occurred and the occurrence seeing CMR go past in the child's breast to lifting her up and putting her on the floor, removing her panties, having a look, and then putting them back up, speaks to a pattern of intentional child grooming in preparation for a fully penetrative sexual assault of a minor. But who is Cushane Carter? Cushane Carter, known popularly as CMR, was born in Jamaica on the 13th of September 1989. He grew up in the area of Linstead, St. Catherine. When he was a late teen, Cushane migrated to the USA where he completed school. He kept closely connected to Jamaica and traveled home every year during the holidays. He became a soldier and served in the U.S. Army. Ambitious and driven, Cushane aka CMR also became a notable YouTuber and household name within the Caribbean diaspora of social media. Known as a keen dancehall enthusiast and critique, he eventually evolved to becoming a recording artist in his own right and releases dancehall music. After developing a long-distance relationship with his girlfriend Crissy, who was based in Jamaica and mother to a young daughter, CMR married Crissy and she migrated to the US, where they began living together as a family. Allegedly, CMR started raising Crissy's first daughter as his own since she was around 2 years old. The ambitious couple became business partners and were determined to achieve success in the YouTube and entrepreneur spaces, which they eventually did. They currently have over 4 YouTube channels combined, including The Carter Family at 303,000 subscribers, Work with Crissy at 201,000 subscribers, CMR Music at 30,000 subscribers, and Crissy and Cushane at 40,000 subscribers. According to HamariWeb.com, Cushane Carter, also known as CMR, is a YouTuber behind the Carter Family channel, has captivated audiences with relatable, family-focused content. They go on to state that Cushane showcases his life in vlogs, featuring his family in various activities and inspirational segments. As a YouTuber, Cushane Carter has attracted over 330,000 subscribers who engage with his updates regularly. His commitment to providing viewers with positive, relatable content has made Cushane Carter a respected name among family vloggers and dancehall enthusiasts alike. But who is Crissy Carter? As mentioned earlier, Crissy is a YouTube star and entrepreneur who has worked in hair and makeup for years. Crissy has her own makeup line, Watch Crissy Work, which aligns perfectly with her own personal brand. Crissy is the mother of 4 daughters, the first being from a previous relationship, and the younger 3 being the biological children of her husband, Cushane Carter. According to peopleprofile.org, Julianne Crissy Carter came from humble beginnings in the town of Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica. There, she developed the knack for hair weaving and quickly mastered the art with her friends and family as beneficiaries of that knowledge and expertise. She was an avid YouTube watcher, not just for the music, but for viewing videos related to hair and makeup, and she quickly transitioned that knowledge into her repertoire. Crissy became so well versed in applying these skills she developed that she had people outside her regular group of friends and family knocking at her door regularly to get their hair and makeup done. Crissy was not satisfied with this, as these skills she had learned on YouTube drove her to develop a YouTube page to highlight, advertise, and share the gift she developed on social media. This was the beginning of her moniker, Watch Crissy Work. The success gained from that YouTube channel encouraged Crissy to push harder and become a huge success with her over 200,000 followers and eventually into the creation of her own makeup line of products, which she aptly named Watch Crissy Work. In early 2023, the Carter family were dragged through the social media spotlight following an exposed affair that Cushane Carter was alleged to be having with a young Jamaican woman called Shani. CMR's alleged mistress Shani spent hours online speaking about their affair and sharing his voice notes and the private details of their relationship. While Cushane initially denied these allegations and attempted to brush the whole thing off as a prank, he eventually addressed the situation publicly in a confessional apology video. Naturally, CMR's conduct was met with a lot of critique, matched only by the ongoing critique of his wife Crissy, who eventually took him back in a bid to protect her marriage and keep her family together. The infidelity did tarnish their brands somewhat, and many viewers expressed how they felt repulsed by CMR's conduct and consequently would no longer watch and support the Carter family channel. However, the majority of their loyal and die-hard fans remained steadfast and committed, while CMR and Crissy continued to create content for their respective channels. They say all publicity is good publicity, and although initially CMR may have lost some sponsorships and support, things appear to have stabilized in their favor, even with the ongoing whispers in the social media and literal streets. Whether the allegations are true or not, it can be said that his conduct is highly concerning, questionable, and speaks to the potential presence of not only PDF, but also a potential antisocial personality disorder. The ongoing online debate also delves into Crissy, the victim's mother, with serious questions being raised in regards to whether Crissy previously knew about CMR's prior alleged misconduct with her daughter. The fact that the daughter reported the incident to the school and not to Crissy has alarmed many and brought Crissy under endless scrutiny for what part she may or may not have played in this situation. Crissy is being accused by some of knowing and hiding CMR's alleged pedophilic behavior. His extramarital affair with Shani is also being brought back into focus as it provides examples of his poor character and choices, as well as Crissy's decision to remain married to him and to keep their family as a unit. It is being alleged that Crissy had ample opportunity to leave CMR with his cheating. She is being accused of causing this to happen by staying with him after he demonstrated that he would be of risk to her marriage and the well-being of her daughters. Additionally, the Popka police website shows a previous case with CMR that occurred in 2021. In this incident, the police were called to the house by Crissy, and she alleged that CMR had struck her several times with an open palm on her left cheek. The daughter, the same daughter who has reported CMR for abuse, corroborated Crissy's story to the police and denied CMR's counterclaim that Crissy struck him first. This information is telling, and many are not only seeing it as speaking to the abusive aspects of CMR's personality, but also a minority are questioning whether this was a potential reason for why CMR decided to groom the daughter to defile her innocence out of spite and malice as payback for what she said to the police. This does sound far-fetched, but because of how the situation has unfolded, much to the horror of decent people who were bearing witness, no stone is being left unturned. One point being repeatedly expressed by many is that something had to be wrong if Crissy's daughter didn't feel safe enough to report CMR to her on all 3 occasions about his predatory behavior, as alleged as it might be. Unfortunately, due to a history of toxic mothers and acidic femininity, which sees women denying the abuse of their own children, protecting pedophile husbands, boyfriends, brothers, uncles, sons, and friends, as I detailed extensively in previous videos on this channel, it is not being assumed that Crissy is innocent and both parents are being viewed with suspicion. Based on the legal paperwork, there is no direct indication that Crissy was complicit in any way. There is also a social tendency within culture to victim blame and to blame everyone but the actual perpetrator of the crimes. The problem is, a few months after the arrest of Cushane Carter, it was brought to the attention of the public through several online sources that his charges had been dropped due to a lack of evidence. Crissy Carter did what most had predicted she would do. She swiftly took CMR back, brought him back into the house with her 4 daughters, the eldest having made the complaint, and since this time has attempted to go above and beyond to sweep the issue under one dirty mat. It is one thing for Cushane to be accused of such a depraved and inhumane crime, although the police cannot prosecute him due to the lack of evidence. But Crissy could have decided, based upon her daughter's report of Cushane's behaviour that allegedly occurred not once, not twice, but 3 times, that she would not bring him back into the house where he poses a risk not only to his stepdaughter, but to their 3 biological daughters. Many of their followers did not blink an eye, which is typical given the low level of decency I mentioned earlier. But there has been major pushback from some of the public, vloggers, and even Mr. Vegas, whose collaboration song with Etana seems to be directly targeted at the Carters. Crissy Carter, unfortunately, has become a modern and very public symbol of the many unscrupulous mothers who ignore the cries of abuse from their own children and choose their partners over the safety of their own offspring. To be honest, given the culture of Jamaican and wider global society, where several generations of the youth have had to endure interference and devastation from family members, in-laws, and family friends, several generations of men and women who were silenced by their own mothers, who selfishly put their own needs and desires in front of their children's safety, this is nothing new. However, I will say that not only is it careless and treacherous, it is also satanic, as this kind of child abuse can cause lifelong trauma, and even if it couldn't have been avoided, it is my opinion that once a child shares to a parent or authority that PDF behavior is present within the family home, if the mother does nothing about it, she is participating in the satanic abuse of her own child and will consequently have to pay the price for selling out her child for her own needs and comfort. There were several steps that Crissy Carter could have taken in a situation like this, and the signs of neglect, selfishness, and Satanism is at the forefront of her behavior. It is easy to simplify her actions as simply being a careless and whatless mother, but as this is 2025, we have to dig deeper into her actions and behavior, as her decision has forced her daughter to publicly live in an alleged highly dangerous environment, and at this point, it doesn't even matter if the allegations that were made against CMR were in fact true, because the report the child made to the police speaks of a child seeking to protect herself in a way she knew her mother wouldn't. It is very likely that this child knew, based on her mother's own behavior, that she would not have been heard if she reported the behavior directly to this satanic mother. So let me be 100% clear. What CMR Cushane Carter has been accused of doing is satanic, and the response that Crissy Carter has taken to these accusations are equally satanic. So, from a seemingly average morning to the nightmare of a lifetime, this is what has led to the downfall of CMR, aka Cushane CMR Carter. The allegations highlight the nature of predatory male and sometimes female adults who terrorize male and female children and sadly are just as much a part of Jamaican culture as soup on Saturdays and rice and peas on Sundays. Jamaican and Caribbean women, so many have defended and protected men who either verbally, physically, or sexually vulnerable children and women, sometimes even other men. As Serpi of Politrix Watch has detailed for years, and as the support from those online who just want the family to get back together proves, in Jamaican culture, there is no true care for the innocent or the victims, not if the perpetrator is someone who is liked. Loyalties are extended, not in alignment with good morals and humanity. No one cares who is hurt, beaten, verbally abused, raped, or even killed if the accused is our favorite vlogger, politician, critic, or celebrity. We haven't as a culture used our access to social media and each other to educate and update our communities to weed out any form of evil. Instead, we equate loving Jamaican culture with loving the Jamaican colors, reggae and dancehall music, rum cake, curry goat, juicy beef patties, jerk and hardo bread, and all the delicious foods between St. Thomas and Negril. What this case with CMR brings to mind is the old-time Jamaican saying, you can take the man out of yard, but you can't take yard out of the man. This incident speaks to something that happens every day within Jamaican culture, and even though this family no longer resides in Jamaica, the culture has traveled with them. The case of Cushane Carter is basically about how an adult male, a father of 3 and stepfather of 1, who allegedly chose to mistreat and molest his own 13-year-old child. It is important, I add, these issues are as human as humanity gets. There is no corner of the planet, no school, institution, religion, or society that is free from the sexually deviant. This doesn't excuse the existence of sexual deviance in any area of society, nor does it excuse its prevalence within Jamaican and Caribbean culture. We all have some part to play in how we respond to our own culture. Do we expose and seek justice for crimes, or do we hide them? Do we support and protect survivors, or do we attack them? Do we criticize and vilify, or do we show empathy to those who are alleging victimhood? Do we distance ourselves from the alleged and proven perpetrators, or do we remain loyal to these villains while being traitors of humanity? And so, in my humble opinion, there is a gift of truth in this situation, and it is a gift for the collective, an opportunity not only to be honest about the issues that plague humanity, that put children and the vulnerable at risk from generation to generation. This is an opportunity to become more aware, more vigilant in your own family and community. The negative backlash against this child who has made these allegations is unacceptable, but very common within Jamaican society and many societies around the world. Somehow, it is okay for adults to prey on children, but it is a crime for the children to speak up. This is an opportunity to celebrate and congratulate the courage it would have taken for this child to speak up. She spoke up in order to protect her mind, body, and spirit. She did the right thing. If she felt unsafe with CMR, she did the right thing to remove herself from danger and speak to someone else. And this is what matters. This is an opportunity to create impactful and measurable change, to create more preventative steps to protect innocent children and adults from sexual perpetrators, to help the affected with appropriate healing and support, and to eradicate victim blaming for events outside of their own control. This is a great time to weed out both the villains and their defenders out of the fabric of society. So what do you think about this travesty? I would love to hear your views, and I look forward to taking more deep dives soon. Remember, the alleged victim turned victor and her siblings are all minors and are the most vulnerable and important people in this dire situation. On that note, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Protect yourself, and as the old timers would say, walk good.